person to episode 4 of my Kerbal Space Program Let's Play. Alright, so I asked if any of you wanted to see everything that I did, but I didn't get much of a response for that, so I just ended up doing some off-camera stuff. I didn't do too much, nothing super interesting. So, for the first part of this episode, I'll do a recap. So I made a lot of money because I did 2 tourist contracts, exactly the same as the last one that you saw. Only the rocket now has struts, so it doesn't jiggle and wobble, and it's actually very enjoyable to fly now. Now, I had a small element of failure in both of those launches. The first one that landed, I fell short and landed way out here. So because I didn't land on the runway, I lost some money because my recovery teams had to go way out there to pick it up. But not too much. And I still made money off that mission, I just made less than I could have. And the second one did make it to the runway, but it was still what you could consider technically short. It came in too low and too slow, so I didn't quite deploy the parachutes in time. And it landed safely, the Kerbals were fine, but it destroyed the engine. And that's one of the most expensive parts of the rocket. So I lost money there. Still made money, but made even less than the one that landed way out there. It wasn't in the mountains, it was kind of between the mountains and here. And then I had this one other contract to test jet engines and a launch escape system. And they wanted them in a specific altitude and a specific speed. And it was 2 separate contracts, but I did it in one rocket. So I'll show you what I used. So I used this crazy contraption. So I used these 4 solid rocket boosters and this engine to get up to the altitude, and then right before I got to the right altitude, I'd use these solid rocket boosters to give me the speed I needed. It went at like 600 meters per second at 11,000 meters, which is very fast, very low. And the engines don't work because I don't have air intakes, and they just gave them to me for testing purposes. See, they're still not here. But yeah, there those are. So, but yeah, I made quite a bit of money off of that. So the first order of business today is to upgrade buildings, because there are buildings we can upgrade. Okay, so we upgraded the tracking station, and mission control's okay. Yeah, I actually can't afford to upgrade that. The administration building, I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of that. Well, I was going to upgrade buildings, but they all cost a lot more than I thought they did. I could upgrade the runway. That'll be worth it. Yeah. Now it's pavement and not just dirt. That'll make it easier to land on it. Okay. And then we'll look at the science that we want. And there's that weird flickering. So this is what we'd like, because that's a very good engine, and that's a very good engine. And then nice fuel tanks. I also want this. Get a really nice communicator and some computers. And that comes in handy with unmanned stuff. Now, normally, like in real life, history and things, when people went to the moon, we sent a lot of unmanned stuff first. But Kerbal Space Program, the way it's set up, it's kind of impossible to do that, if you're using remote tech anyways, which does add an element of realism. But the thing was, even in the 1950s, you had stations all over the world that could communicate with your spacecraft. KSP, you got one. And that makes it very difficult. You need a perfect satellite network, and that costs money, and you need big antennas, and even that one that I showed you in the science place is not quite enough. So it'll take a while. So we'll do a manned mission to fly by the moon, which I think, yep, fly by the moon. They give me a lot, and I can also get a lot of science. So that's what we want to do today. That'll probably take the full 30 minutes. And then I need to test this orbiting the moon, but we're not going there yet. And Gene, be quiet. You're too loud. Anyways, seeing if there's any other ones. 4 tourists, that's just craziness. What's this? No, they want to go to the moon, Minmus. No. No, we'll go to Minmus eventually. But yeah. So yeah, we need a rocket to fly by the moon. And when we return, we'll be going very fast. So we don't want to use an airplane because we need a heat shield. So we can call it, I don't know, Luna 1, because I'm pretty sure that was one of the first ones that went to the moon. Well, yeah, this is the cheapest cockpit. Might as well be cheap, because we can. Remove the monopropellant, because we don't want that. Parachute. Okay, and this is something we haven't used yet. This is the material, service bay. So you put this on here, and when you right-click on it, you can open it, and you can store stuff in here. So we have batteries now. I've got this procedural battery with the procedural fuel tanks mod. I want it to attach to the top node there. And you can change the color. Gold foil is cool, but the gray matches better. So I'll extend its length where I can, and that's as wide as I can get it. Okay, science. Thermometers. Well, first we'll do mystery goo containment. Okay, we'll actually attach these to the ceiling, and then we'll use the WASD QE keys to try to rotate it to the orientation we want. So still no sign of my microphone. Usually Amazon's pretty good about getting things in when they say. They said 2 to 5 business days. It's been 5, and still no sign of it. So they'll be cutting it close, or they will be late. And I will not be too happy with them. Anyways, 2 thermometers, I think. Yeah, 2 will be good. I'm seeing if there's anything else we could want. We don't need that. Yeah, no solar panels yet. And then we want our big materials bay. Yeah, it's attaching to the node on the bottom of that battery. But yeah, so we'll close that up. So this is a pretty tall capsule. They wouldn't do this in like NASA usually because this is dangerous. But this is Kerbal Space Program. Kerbals have a lot less concern than their safety than humans. So no need to feel too bad about it. Yeah. Okay. So we now have those mounted. And then we'll put on our heat shield. And hopefully that'll fly straight. We've got the battery though, which gives us like it more than doubles our electric charge. So that'll keep us safe for steering. Still no solar panels. You know what? Let's put extra batteries because why not? And extra safety. There. That adds a lot of extra power. There. There will be no shortage of electricity on board. Now we'll put a decoupler. So this will be the part that comes back. And there's the music, loud as ever. Okay. So we're going to go with a slightly different design this time than in the last few. So we'll do a pretty nice second stage. Should we go that? No. Sorry, I'm being indecisive today. And then we want the Vista, because that's our most efficient engine right now. And then we'll put... No. Just put them straight on. We're going to put 4 more on the sides to make a total of 5 second stage engines. And then we'll put our nose cones on top. And then we'll give it some struts. And these we got last episode. And these are very helpful. So if you remember, our rocket wiggled around a bunch. No more of that. We are safe from the wiggling. Okay. So that'll be our like transfer and second stage. Yeah. Yes. Okay. So I will... Yeah, I'm being very indecisive today. Anyways, I will grab these, I think. Yeah. And put those like that. And then we'll put a single one, and then, no, like that. This will be an expensive rocket, but I think we'll be okay. Then we'll put our Maverick engines, another one. Okay. And then we'll put some solid rocket boosters, because we need extra speed. Alright, there. And then we'll thrust limit them, because they'll be crazy powerful if we don't. And strut them down. I might have overdone this. I like to overdo things, though. Oh yeah, and then we need struts down here, because these aren't technically connected. It's not too expensive, though. Okay. If we have a ton of leftover fuel, maybe we can use this, or a variant of this rocket, to land on the moon. Not in this episode. Definitely not. That's craziness, but yeah. Okay, and then we do that. And that. Okay. Then we want our crew. Yeah, Jeb can do it. Well, I am so indecisive. Let's just do Valentina. Okay. There. So that's a lot of extra stuff. We could put an antenna on it, but that's extra money. Anyways, we have a contract to get science data from space around Kerbal, so when we're orbiting. And even if we don't get any science value, we'll just get extra money from that contract. So that'll be nice. Okay. So now we're on the launch pad. What's that sound? I hear something. Anyways, so what was I going to talk about? Okay, so there were those markers on our orbit, which I was calling highest point and lowest point. But I'm now going to start calling them by their actual names, which I'm not exactly sure how they're pronounced, but I believe Apoaps and Periaps, and I will be calling them that. Periaps is the lowest point in orbit. Our solid rocket boosters are crooked. Whatever. And then Apoaps is the highest point. Okay? So we'll start about that throttle. That really hurts my ears. I have to speak up because you won't be able to hear me after I heard the last video. Yeah, I'm gonna turn my earbud because I will go deaf if I don't. There. And now it'll fall out. Now it's fixed. Now I'm gonna start turning over a little bit because we want to do that early on. Now, a good rule of thumb is to be at 45 degrees by the time you are at 10,000 meters up. So we'll try to aim for that, but we'll see how it works out. Okay. So we're now going about 300 miles per hour and picking up speed quite rapidly. Valentina is really enjoying himself. Solid rocket boosters are about halfway out of fuel. We'll be getting rid of them sooner or later. But we're really picking up speed now. I'm going to start throttling back the main liquid fuel engines just to conserve fuel. Oh no. We might lose control of the rocket. Okay, no, we're not going to. We almost did that. It was trying to get away from us. Now, I said the rule of thumb was 45-degree line, which is right here, by 10,000, but I've noticed that there's a good chance you'll burn up, so I like to be a little bit more gradual than that, but yeah, it ended up that we got there. I want to get rid of these solid rocket boosters soon. They're causing lag and making this rocket just difficult to fly. Not much longer left on them. I'm going to roll. Okay, then we'll decouple, go up to full power. That's just as loud. Anyways, we'll check our app waps, which is not doing as well as I hope. We might have to restart. I hope not. Yeah, we didn't do too well there. Yeah, I'm sorry. We gotta restart. I would time accelerate, but that would be bad. It could rip it apart. So I'm letting you see the testing phases of these rockets so that you guys can make a good, educated guess whether you want to see this or not with every rocket design that I do. Are they crooked now? No. Good. And I'm going to give it little wings because that'll help steer. These wings will be a little bit different, but we'll be fine. We'll live. Yeah. Okay. Now we're fixed. And it should fly now without being overly difficult. Yeah, those wings will really help. So we'll throttle up to 100% and try not to go deaf. Yeah, that really hurts. Yeah, these flame trench things where the smoke goes out the sides, they just added that in the last big version of the game. It was really sad having the actual grooves in the launch pad, but not actually being able to see those flames shoot out. But they fixed that. We've got flames now. And I love it. It is one of my favorite features from 1.0 version of the game, when it first became a full game. They do charge a lot for this game, but they put a lot of work into it, and I do think they deserve the amount of money they asked for. They weren't like, as of right now, the game costs like $40, which is a bit steep, but they do have sales a lot, so if you just keep an eye on their website, if you really want this game, you'll be able to get it at a decent price. Like, I know at least once a year they have like a 50% off sale, and then often they'll have 20 or 30% off, so just keep an eye on them, and if you really want this game, I'm sure you can get the full version yourself, eventually. But these solid rocket bases last a long time with that thrust limiter. They seem more powerful with the real Plume mod, making the fire so large, but it's probably not. It's probably just as powerful as it is. Yeah, the real game, the fire is small, and it's kind of pitiful to look at. So we're going to throttle up even more. Valentina just loves it. About 2 G's of acceleration. This rocket's gaining speed quickly. Okay, I want to get rid of these solids soon. Because of that. Okay. And there. Oh no. Oh no. That's really bad. We lost an engine. And somehow we're still flying. Well, let's keep on going. Why not? We lost this whole engine here. So if we just transfer this fuel into that tank... Oh, we can't transfer fuel right now. Well, yeah. So we wasted a lot of fuel, and we have a missing engine, but it's staying straight. You can see it's really... The sickness avoidance system's really struggling to keep us going straight. But we are going straight. Barely. But we are doing it. I'm not going to touch anything because we will probably start spinning out of control if I do. So we're just going to keep on going up at this crazy angle, gaining speed. If I hit the throttles, we'll probably spin out of control. You can see the rocket's doing everything in its power not to flip over. I'm really surprised that it's not. Might be the new atmospheric effects and things. Yeah. Okay. I'll hit that. And then that. Oh, and then they explode. Of course they do. And then that'll really accelerate us upwards. I really hope we have enough fuel to go to the moon. This should be enough, but I don't know. These Vista engines are good, but I don't know. Alright, we're really starting to pick up speed here. Yep, we should be going to space. Yeah, that would be really funny if we made it to the moon after losing that engine. We only have to do a flyby. We don't have to get too close to it. So we might have the fuel. With 5 engines, though, we're really picking up speed. So it's taking... I mean, even though we're burning each tank at the same speed we would if there were just one, there's 5 of them, which gives us a lot of thrust. So we don't have to burn the engines as long. Vist engines have a really unique effect. You can see like little circle things. I'm not sure if that's realistic, but it looks cool. So, yeah. Okay, I'm going to throttle back now. There. Okay. Yeah, we throttle back because once our app starts getting really high, having the engines close to full power is not necessary. I'm actually going to throttle up a little bit more. Our app is not going up as fast as I want. And where's the moon? Oh, it's there. So we'll have to do about an orbit before we make our transfer out there. Okay. Alright, we're going to space. Yeah, I don't know if we have the fuel. I hope so. That would be embarrassing. But I don't know. Yeah, we wasted a lot of fuel losing that engine. Those other 4 engines were... we could have throttled them back more, but we had to keep them at that throttle level. Well, actually, I didn't want to touch anything to keep it from spinning, but... yeah. Okay, that's really going up. So we'll just shut off the engines and coast up there. Alright, once we're there, we will then reignite the engines and push ourselves into an orbit. And from there, hopefully we can push ourselves to the moon. Hopefully. Alright, we have a periapse. It's inside the atmosphere, but that's okay. Okay, when that gets up to 80, I'm just going to stop. Okay? It is inside the atmosphere, but we should be alright. Okay? We'll time accelerate again. And then... I know I'm doing this early. You'd ideally want to do it at the highest point, but I need to make a maneuver node. I'm going to show you those. Okay. We are in an orbit that will stay in space. So we're going to set the moon as target. We're going to click on it and set it as target. Okay, so we're going to look along our orbit, and when the moon is just rising above the horizon, we're going to put our mouse over that spot on the orbit, and, well, okay, it's about there. We've got to guess. We're going to click Add Maneuver. Then we're going to drag the prograde, which is forward, and we're going to drag it upwards. Okay, that's us hitting the moon. We don't want to do that. So we want to put it just up to the minimum. Now we don't want to get too close to the moon because then it would be hard to get back. The closer we get, the harder it is to get back. That's decent. Yeah. And then we'll just do a small course correction and bring this... Well, anyways, what this is after we do the maneuver, we'll follow this path and then hit the moon's orbit. And then once we go by it, its gravity will slingshot us onto this higher trajectory. So we'll have to slow down to hit the atmosphere on the way back. Okay? So you can see down here in this bar, we have estimated burn time, which is 30 seconds, and node, or time to node, that's times the maneuver node, is 4 minutes and 20 seconds. So now 19, 18, it counts down. But as I start my engines, this bar will move down. And when it gets to 0, I'll be close or exactly at what it's predicting here. So it's very helpful. It also tells you exactly where to point. So you can see on our nav ball, we've got the prograde vector, which is where we'll be burning, but as we move along the planet, it'll turn as well. So you can see this new blue marker, and that's telling us where to burn. So we'll go up to it, and if it's not on the screen, it'll have a little blue arrow pointing you where? Along the perimeter of the ball. So we'll just turn the rocket to point right at it. And then, if you want to be super precise, we'll go to the cockpit view, we'll click IVA, we will zoom in on her nav ball, and then we'll just fine-tune it to exactly on it. And then once it's perfectly on, we'll spam F a few times. And that resets our sickness avoidance system to be perfectly on there. Now, before we leave, I'm going to spin the rocket, which is fine. And then I will quick save. I want to get Valentina out because we have that contract to get science data from space. So we're going to do an EVA report, and we'll keep that, and then we'll board. Even though it doesn't give us any value scientifically, it will fulfill that contract. So that's free money, basically. Okay, now we can time accelerate to the maneuver, or close. I like to get within about a minute. So you want to split it about halfway. So we'll start the engines 15 seconds to the burn. Now to time accelerate, you can click on these arrows up here, but I like to press the period and comma keys, and that'll do it too. Period speeds it up, comma slows it down. Okay, 15 seconds to when we'll start the engines. We'll re-fine-tune it with Valentina's help. Nope, we overshot. Okay, that's pretty good. Hit F. Nope. And press and then C. Yeah, and then we'll ignite. Oh, I missed it a little bit. We want to do it in 15 seconds, but that's fine. Oh no. Oh, where's the sickness avoidance system? It never turned on. Okay. There we go. Problem fixed. Okay. Now we're going to watch our orbit. You can see it's really going up now. So our apoapse is gaining speed. And if we're not careful, we'll actually probably leave the solar system, not the solar system, but Kerbin's orbit and go into an orbit around the sun, which we don't want. Now, as you get near the end of your maneuver, throttle down, because the farther you get away from it, the higher the efficiency, so the faster it goes up. So we need to be careful. So we're getting really close to where we need to be. Okay. We're going to just keep pushing it just a little bit higher. We want to keep going. There we go. And then we'll press the little check mark. Or the X if it's not where we want it. Oh, I can actually get a little bit closer. Okay. It's flickering. It's fine. Anyways, that's just another annoying bug. So we'll time accelerate. Now, before we hit the sphere of influence of the moon, that's where its gravity starts taking hold of us and is stronger than the Earth's, well, Kerbin. I'll try to get some scientific data here. I'll see what I can do. So we'll hit F, we'll quick save in case Valentina drifts off, because it's hard to get back. And we'll try an EVA report. Oh, we got science from that. That's great. Then we'll board the rocket, and we're good. Okay, so we're just going to keep going. We're just going to do a flyby. So, if we were going to land on the moon, we'd get our periaps around the moon super low. And when we got to our periaps, we would burn backwards to slow ourselves down, and then we'd be in orbit around the moon. But that's very difficult, and we don't have the fuel. I mean, it's not difficult, but you need a big rocket, and we don't have that right now. So we're going to get pretty close. We'll stop time accelerating, and we'll do our scientific experiments. Where's the sun? Of course, blocking... Well, this is the equivalent of a solar eclipse, only it doesn't really count because we're closer to it. And we'll observe the materials bay, and same message, but new science. Okay. Then we'll open up our cargo bay, and we'll use our middle mouse button to turn it. We'll observe the mystery goo. Okay, same message as before. Okay, then we'll get that one. Then we'll grab our thermometer and log temperature. It says it's hard because there's nothing actually there. It's just the spacecraft that you're measuring the temperature of. Weird message. Makes sense if you think about it, but I don't feel like explaining it. Anyways, okay, then we'll recenter the camera. Okay, and then we'll close that on up. Then we'll take a crew report. Now, that sounded like new music, but I guess they haven't added it yet. Says we could probably land inside a crater. And we'll do an EVA report around the moon. I can't remember if we did. I don't think we did. Yeah. Yep. And same boring message, but new science again. Okay. So I'm going to time accelerate a little bit. Now we can see the sun. So I'm going to get our screenshot for the game. I'll zoom in like that. Okay, and then I'll press F2 and then F1. Okay. Now we have our screenshot for the video. Thumbnail. Okay. So that's everything that we need to do here. I'm trying to think if there's anything else we want. Right. I'm going to experiment with a maneuver and see if we can get this down. So you can just experiment with messing with the different buttons that you can pull. That's going to take about 2 seconds of engine burning. Okay. We want to get this down to, not there. 26 isn't bad. Okay, so that's 26 kilometers. You have to keep in mind that the atmosphere starts at 70. You don't want to go too deep. You want there to be a number here. You don't want to go straight into the surface. Because if you did, you'd come down really fast. And you might live, but you might not. So, this way, we will, even if we go back into orbit, it'll really slow us down because we'll go so deep. Then we'll come back down, and then we'll definitely land. And it's safe. And because it's not a plane, we could land anywhere. So this is not a money-making mission. This is a science-gathering mission. Yeah. Alright, so we're coming up on our maneuver. So I already pointed us at it. And then we'll start the engines. And we'll just wait for that to go down. Okay, it's a little bit there. Okay, got it at 40, 30, okay, 25. Okay. Yep. So then we'll just time accelerate. We'll leave the sphere of influence of the moon. The moon will go away from us. She's been in space now 2 days, which I guess gets her a record of some sort. Okay. And then we'll just keep on coming down. Yep, we definitely had the fuel. I thought we wouldn't, but we turned out fine. Oh. Sometimes I'll still be time accelerating, and I'll wonder why the rocket won't turn. But, okay. Why are we in chase view? That's weird. Okay. I fixed the camera. And then we will stop spinning. And then we want the back of the rocket to go first. So we'll just time accelerate on down. Now we're coming down quickly. I'm going to decouple. Well, actually, I can use the engines to slow down extra. But then it'll be fun to see how much of the ablator goes away from our heat shield. The heat shield actually changes color as it burns. So it's yellow right now, but by the time we're done with this, it'll probably be dark brown or black. So we will decouple. We should have turned slightly. It's okay though. Then we'll time accelerate back down to the atmosphere. Okay, we're now in the atmosphere. Alright, so this stage will probably eventually shoot over us. Okay, you can see we're still super high up, but we're already having the flames. And that is because we are going so ridiculously fast. We're used to re-entering at around 2,000 meters per second, which is around like 4,500 miles per hour. But we're coming down now at 3,200, which is like the equivalent of almost 7,000 miles per hour. Now that's slow compared to like real life, but you have to remember that Kerbal is 10 times smaller than Earth. So, relative to Kerbal, this is ridiculously fast. However, Kerbal weighs the same as Earth. The gravity's the same, which means it's made of stuff that's very dense. Oh no. Okay. I am having trouble steering. The rocket's trying to turn sideways, like this, and I've got to keep it centered, or we will die. Oh no. I'm losing it. I'm losing it. Okay, Valentina, help me. I gave her the command to keep it pointing in the right. Okay, we're starting to heat up. I'm glad I made a quick save. I'm giving it everything we have, but it's not turning. Things are starting to heat up because the heat shield's not going first. I'm spamming the yaw button, and Valentina's doing the pitch. Oh no, I am sorry. This is just ridiculously difficult. Okay, I don't know why it won't fly straight. It might be the parachutes being on the outside. Oh no. No, we're going straight down. Okay, I'm going to do everything in my power to turn it around. Valentine is trying to help me, but luckily we've slowed down a lot. We're only going about 1,000 meters per second now. I'm doing everything I can, but this is hard. Okay. We're finally slowing down. That was a difficult re-entry. Well, we know that this design of capsule is terrible, and we should never build it again. I will remember that. That'll be helpful. So I'm just going to keep wiggling around, and I will put I'll right-click on that parachute to see when it'll be safe to deploy it. Still unsafe. Still unsafe, and we will be hitting the ground soon. Okay. I'm glad I made that quick save. Still unsafe. Come on. Okay. I gotta deploy both of them now, because I don't know where I am. If I were coming down the mountains, I'd probably be dead by now. It's definitely over land. I'm trying to see where it is. Okay. So we're pretty far from the Space Center. That red dot being the Space Center. Yeah. We're not as far, we're not on the complete other side of the planet, though. Okay. Yeah, the heat shield didn't change color that much. We didn't lose too much of later. We could have handled worse. Okay, that explosion was our second stage hitting. Okay. I'll just time accelerate the ground. And we will watch her radar altimeter. And now her parachutes are open. And she's falling at a nice steady 5 meters per second. I'm going to try this. Okay. So that's about 10 miles per hour, which is not pleasant to hit the ground at, but you'll definitely survive. Okay, 400 meters up. 300, 350. 3, 250. 200. 250. 100. And then 50 meters up. Okay, and then I'll stop time accelerating right before that needle hits 0. I want to watch this. Okay. Then we'll just make it fall over. There. Okay, and then we'll recover the vessel. So that should have gotten us a lot of science. Oh yeah, we got 140 science from that. Lots of science. Okay. Yeah, we didn't make that much money from funds. She gained experience. Good. And contract complete. Yep. money. I'm gonna see if there's any good contract. Orbit the moon. We'll want that. Science data from space around moon. We'll want that. What's this? Okay, I remember that one. Okay, nope. Okay, now we're starting to get into some of the interesting things. We need to rescue these Kerbals, those are the people, from orbit. Somehow, these Kerbals, even us being the only building on the planet, we have people stuck in space that I did not put there. Don't know how they got there. I don't really care. But anyways, these are free Kerbals. That's the advantage of those contracts. At the astronaut complex, I can hire Kerbals, but it costs a lot. And it gets more expensive each time. And it's helpful to have more than 4 Kerbals. So, those contracts are very nice because they're just free Kerbals. You have to rendezvous with them, though. That's hard. Whoops. Wrong one. That one. So this person. We could probably rescue one of them. Let's see who pays us the most. Because that'll decide who we get. Because we're nice like that, right? You're stuck in space, we'll rescue the one who will pay us the most. This company will pay us the most. So we will accept their contract. And we will see how we rendezvous next episode. We might be able to save these guys. But, whatever. You can't save them all. We'll let, I guess the people who got them stuck there can rescue them themselves. Alright, now we're going to spend science. So, because the R&D is not fully upgraded, we cannot research above 90 science. But anyways, we want this, because it gives us solar panels, big batteries, and the computers are starting to get decent. And it gives us a communication dish. It's an okay one, but definitely not the best. We really want the next one, that one. But that'll be a while before we get it. And after we get that one, we can start making a satellite network around the planet. But for now, we'll research that, and then we'll grab this one. There. So we'll be able to make some very nice rockets with those. Now, with rescuing that Kerbal, these RCS thrusters will come in very handy. But if we have good gyroscopes, we don't really need them. We can use the main engine. Okay. So that's all for now. Please like, comment, subscribe. I enjoy any and all feedback. Please tell me anything and everything. Alright, see you next time.